Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of JMC EduTrends, a discussion that informs, inspires, and transcends. To all our first-time viewers, this program streams live on www.facebook.com/Josemaria College and on YouTube at JMC EduTrends. Don't forget to type in your comments and questions, send your emojis, click the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you would be notified of future discussions on JMC EduTrends. Without much delay, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the program host of today's discussion.
And hi everyone! Hi to all viewers! And again, we're back on another segment of JMC EduTrends. And this time, in this episode, we'll be talking about a new topic, a topic that will interest every one of you watching us out there. And this webinar is actually about different types of relationship, how to handle relationship in time of crisis, and so on and so forth. And I'm actually excited to learn more about this kind of webinar. And actually, together with me right now is the program head of Bachelor of Science in Psychology of Josemaria College, Miss Abigail Grace Escobedo. Hi, Ma'am Abby. Good morning.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Hi, Ma'am.
It's very nice to actually be part of the EduTrends once again. Okay, because grabe talaga ang experience and it's very relevant to actually share a lot of learnings that we will tackle, and eventually lahat talaga ng EduTrends was really successful. So I hope everybody who is here and will be with us today will really learn a lot. Lalo na, Ariel, na very timely ang ating topic since it's still the month of love, right?
Love. hindi pa tayo magpapahuli dyan.
Hindi pa tayo kasi we're still
Yes.
at the last week for the month. So, talaga siya, pasok na pasok talaga siya, and it's very relevant.
Of course.
Okay? So, I hope everybody will learn. So, we're here to actually help as well.
Yan. So, ayan, a quick reminder lang sa lahat ng mga viewers natin to please don't forget to fill out the attendance link posted on the comment section below. Please, guys, fill out that one para naman malaman natin kung sino yung mga viewers natin at the end of this webinar. So, without any further ado, please allow me to introduce to you our guest speaker for today's webinar. She's actually a registered psychometrician and psychologist. She finished master's in degree in psychology major in clinical psychology in San Pedro College last 2018. A former psychometrician, psychologist at Vanguard Assessment, and a full-time psychology instructor of Josemaria College. She is also an active member of Psychological Association of the Philippines since 2014. Let us all welcome Miss Myrvic Keyoko Padilla. Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you
Good
so much,
morning.
Ariel and Miss Abby, for that introduction. Good morning. How are you?
We
I'm
are
doing
happy.
great.
You're
Yes.
good?
Excited.
Yes. Okay.
Very
That's good to
excited.
hear. And I also want to greet everybody who are watching right now. I hope you have a wonderful and fruitful Friday morning. Okay, so I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me for the guidance office and the DS Psychology program. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be part of JMC EduTrends.
Yes naman.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Perfect na yan.
All right. Okay, so can I start now?
Yes, sure, ma'am. I know
Okay.
We will be posting the slides at all. All right.
Ayan.
All right. Okay. So this topic, as what Sir Ariel and Miss Abby have mentioned, this is very timely, and I think everybody could somehow relate to it because, especially during the pandemic, this is a tough time to everyone. So this is not only a tough time for us, but also for other people around us. And somehow, this pandemic has also brought some strains in relationship. Okay, so now we will be discussing more about that, about relationships, the context of relationships, what are the challenges that people go through now during the pandemic, and what are the things or the ways that you can improve or foster the relationships that you have right now. Okay? So before I start my discussion, I want everyone here who are watching to examine first, to try to look at your present relationships that you have. So how are your relationships going? So it can be with your family, with your friends, with your significant others. So how are your relationships right now? Is it stable? Are you happy? Is it going strong? Or is it complicated or chaotic? Are there any conflicts that's happening? Okay, so try to look at your relationships right now and examine your relationships. Okay, so if you wanted to share it, don't hesitate. So we have comments on the comment section. You can post your insights or whatever you wanted to share or ask later. So the comment box is open. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so let's define first relationship. So it is an association or connection between objects, events, variables, or other phenomena. This is also a continuing and often committed association between two or more people, as in a family, friendship, marriage, partnership, or other interpersonal link in which the participants have some degree of influence on each other's thoughts, feelings, and actions. So naturally, human beings are social animals. So we will really find ways to socialize or to interact with other people. So we do not live in isolation. We have others. We need other people for us to survive. Okay, next. So why do we establish relationships? So from the moment of birth, human beings depend on others to satisfy their basic needs. So through this, children come to associate close personal contact with the satisfaction of basic needs. Then later in life, we continue to seek personal contact for the same reason, even though we know we are capable of filling our own needs without relying on others for survival. So, also being around others becomes a habit, and the basic physical needs of infancy expand to include emotional and social needs as well. So, this could include the needs for praise, respect, affection, love, achievement, and so on. So it is these needs which are acquired through social learning that motivate us as humans to seek relationships with people who can satisfy our needs throughout our lives. Okay, next slide. Okay, so relationships can be explained by the attachment theory. So this theory is focused on the relationships and bonds between people, particularly long-term relationships, including those between a parent and child and between romantic partners. So when you say attachment, it is an emotional bond with another person. So Bowlby, so he is a proponent of the attachment theory, believe that the earliest bonds formed by children with their caregivers have a tremendous impact that continues throughout life. So he suggested that attachment also serves to keep the infant close to the mother, thus improving the child's chances of survival. So throughout history, children who maintain proximity to an attachment figure were more likely to receive comfort and protection, and therefore more likely to survive to adulthood. So the lasting impacts of early attachment. Next slide, please. Okay, so research suggests that failure to form secure attachments early in life can have a negative impact on behavior in later childhood and throughout life. So those who are securely attached in childhood tend to have good self-esteem, strong romantic relationships, and the ability to self-disclose to others. So they're also securely attached as infants tend to develop stronger self-esteem and better self-reliance as they grow older. So these children tend to be more independent, they perform better in school, have successful social relationships, and experience less depression and anxiety. So while attachment styles displayed in adulthood are not necessarily the same as those seen in infancy, early attachments can have a serious impact on later relationships. Okay, next. So the benefits of satisfying relationships. Actually, good relationships require management, effort, and attention, but the investment pays off in many ways. So special bonds with other people are important for both mental and physical health. So research supports the idea that if we have strong, caring relationships with others, we are more likely to be healthy and live longer. So satisfying relationships with family and friends promote career success and we feel more protected as well as happy. While on the other hand, poor relations may promote depression, drug abuse, weight problems, and other mental health problems. Okay, next slide. So there are different types of relationships. So the first one is the family. So our family or relatives are people we are connected to through some form of kinship. So whether it is through blood or marriage, romantic relationships, or adoption. So the key role of parents and older relatives is to offer guidance, support, and where needed, boundaries and discipline. So as families are also close and spend so much time together, arguments and disagreements can arise. But in most families, these are short-lived and even in moments of anger or hurt, families still love and care about each other. The next one is our friends. So friends are those people who we are not related to, but we choose to interact with. So friends are people who we can trust, we respect, we care about, and we feel that we can confide in and want to spend time with. So a good friendship should be built on honesty, support, and loyalty. So a friendship is a reciprocal relationship. So for it to exist, both people must see each other as a friend. Then we also have next acquaintances. So these are people you may encounter regularly, but who are not friends or relatives. So for example, your neighbor who lives in the same road. So you say hello to them once in a while if you see them, or some work colleague or someone you have seen a few times at a social event but do not yet know well. So it is important to be polite and respectful to acquaintances as having harmonious relationships with people around you, such as work colleagues, people from college, neighbors, and etc., is an important way of avoiding stress or conflict. And then, next one is romantic relationships. So this is the closest form of relationship, and the two people involved will often describe themselves as being attracted to each other and in love. So they feel an incredibly strong connection and bond to each other that they do not feel with anyone else, even close friends, and the bond is also exclusive and monogamous. So successful romantic relationships are built on love, trust, respect, support, acceptance, shared interest, and a desire for the two people involved to share their lives together. Okay? So now we already know the different types of relationships. So next slide. So there are different challenges during COVID-19. So our relationships are put into test. Okay? So may mga conflicts or struggles, there are disagreements. So these are some of the challenges that people experience during the pandemic, which also affects our relationships. Okay, so the first one is cabin fever. So cabin fever is a state of mind that can develop when a person is confined to their home and unable to have social interaction. So because of the lockdown and the strict quarantine, so I think we're almost a year, diba? When the government imposed the health emergency and we are forced to stay at home. So like everything has changed. It has like 360 degrees change for everyone, So ang school, naging online na siya, yung iba nag-work from home na. The usual activities that we do before, na pwede tayong pumasyal, mag-travel, hindi na natin nagagawa. So we are stuck in our home. We are stuck in an enclosed place. And because of that, we are prone to experience, this is what you call the cabin fever. So what are the signs of cabin fever? Okay, so we experience, so look at the signs. So tingnan nyo kung may na-experience ba kayo sa mga signs na to. So people who are experiencing cabin fever might feel boredom. They may feel irritability, restlessness, impatience, anxiety, lack of motivation, loneliness, hopelessness, and depression. So, although cabin fever is not a recognized psychological illness, its emotional, physical, and behavioral effects are real, and they can significantly affect a person's quality of life, so including people's relationships. So when you feel more isolated as the days go by, because we are not yet used to do this, and our bodies and minds are reacting to it like it's a stressful situation. So for us, for the majority siguro who usually have like an active lifestyle before, the lockdown hinder those activities. So it was a stressful situation for them. Kaya siguro nagmamanifest sila ng mga signs ng cabin fever. So may mga change sa behavior, may mga mood swings, so madali na lang magalit. So kahit konting problema lang, 'di ba, nagagalit na kaagad, mga ganon. And then they're capable of yung withdrawing themselves. There's a feeling of being hopeless, being lonely, and so on. So why does cabin fever feel like such a challenge for all of us? Not just with ourselves, but the people around us. Probably because, yung previous slide mo no, please. Okay. So probably because the cabin fever, diba, there are changes in our behavior. So if the people around you or people you are living with do not understand what you're going through or do not understand the condition na bakit ka laging nagagalit, bakit ka naiinis, hindi ka naman inaano dyan, mga gano'n ng mga, diba, arguments. So, they can be an effect with that. So, mag-arise yung mga arguments, may mga disagreements, and then, also, it does not only cause stress for you, but also a stress for them. So, parang magiging burden yon for the people around you. Okay, that's one. And then another would be being stuck at home. So usually yung makakasama mo talaga like 24/7 are the people you are living with. So it can be your family, or if you're living with friends. So like everything about them, like every trait, quirk, or habits that they have, it is magnified. So parang kahit simple lang siya, nagiging big deal na siya. Okay? And that can sometimes annoy you or stress you. So, yun, natitrigger ka, kaya naging iba yung behavior mo. Okay? So, doon na yun nagsa-start yung mga, mga away within the people you're living with, kasi hindi nila maintindihan kung ano yung condition mo. Okay? So, it is really a struggle. So, especially when you feel this kind of cabin fever. Okay? Next. Okay, so another challenge is the living arrangements or living setup. So, Relationships Australia has made a survey, and they found out that those living alone and those living with one or more members of their family, which is 58% of it, reported finding this arrangement challenging throughout the COVID-19 restrictions. While those living with one or more friends were most likely to feel challenged by the situation. So around 63% reported that they feel challenged about the situation. So there can be added challenges because of like working from home, or maybe the disproportionate of unemployment for young workers, and the potential for loneliness when living alone may provide some explanation. So, pwedeng maraming factors bakit mahirap yung living arrangements now. So, for example, when you're living alone, you're prone to feel lonely because, syempre, kung lagi ka lang nasa bahay and then you do not have that people you can just rely to, kaagad makausap mo. So, parang walang immediate support system na pwede mong malapitan. So, that could be a struggle for you. Well, for those people who are living with their family, so meron din mga disagreements na pwedeng mag-arise. So this includes, next slide please. So this includes disagreements on home routine, chores, and household management may emerge. So common talaga to, for example, sa mga magkakapatid. Sino yung maghuhugas ng plato? Sino nakaschedule magluto? Magpaligo ng aso? So mga ganon. So usually, pag may time na hindi mo nagagawa, so nagagalit si ate, nagagalit yung parents nyo, bakit hindi yung ginagawa yung mga chores, mga ganon. So even the simple chores lang, as what I've said, kahit chores lang yan, it can be magnified. It can be a big deal. And dun nagsa-start yung ang dami ng disagreements, dami ng away, someone will get upset, diba? Kasi bakit ganito, bakit ang unfair, ganon. So, there are really a lot of disagreements, especially in household management. So even with married couples, and how would they manage the household now na siguro may isa sa kanila wala ng work or decrease yung income nila. So how would they manage it with all their expenses and so on? So that could also start disagreement. And then also, a lack of boundaries might also be a factor. So just like, aside from the infringing on personal space, parang wala ka ng personal space sa bahay nyo, habits like changing TV channels abruptly, playing music too loud, leaving messes everywhere, eating other snacks, or interrupting work calls will get on anyone's nerves eventually. So those simple things na usually ginagawa ng mga kasama mo sa bahay, nati-trigger ka doon and it will get into your nerves eventually. So, kaya many people nagre-respond sila na very challenging talaga yung arrangement nila ngayon na laging nasa bahay. And also, this is also the time kasi that, especially couples or married couples, na yung mga problems na hindi nila naka-confront before because of the distractions of work, of school, or social events, napo-force sila na i-confront ngayon na nandun na lang sila sa bahay, sa isang bahay. So they are stuck at home and limited lang ang kanilang social activities. So they are forced to face and confront the problems that are already pre-existing even before the pandemic. Okay? Then next one would be finances. So economically, we are really affected, like all of us. The COVID-19 pandemic is greatly challenging parents who have lost income and are trying to keep their children healthy and stable. So may mga nawalan ng trabaho, may mga businesses na nagsara, kaya na-lay off yung iba. Yung iba, decrease, naging skeletal schedule, kaya this also means decreased income. So those problems can also put a toll on the family dynamics. So on a study, on a survey, close to 1/3 or 31% of parents reported that because of the outbreak, their family had cut back spending on food, and 3 in 10 or around 30.2% reported that their family had reduced savings or increased credit card debt. So this kind of financial uncertainty and job insecurity, so who will be let go at work, if there are enough savings, how to pay for rent or the school fees for the children. So these money troubles add a lot of stress to a family or couple. And this kind of stress that no one may be mentally fit to handle at the moment, especially when there are also other threats, diba, sa health, and kailangan mo pang asikasuhin yung finances, how would you survive? So decrease yung income mo, pero yung expenses, diba, nag-i-increase. So those kind of problem will also take a toll on family. Okay, next. Okay, physical distance. So ito talaga yung isa sa nalilimit ngayon. So of course, nalilimit yung mga physical activities natin. We don't get to see other people that much, especially our friends, our classmates, workmates, or even our loved ones, boyfriends, girlfriends. So if usually before the pandemic, you go into regular hangouts, lagi kayo nang hangout ng friend mo, lagi kayo nagde-date ng boyfriend or girlfriend mo. So during this time, na-limit talaga because we have to abide with the protocols. So couples had faced major changes to their relationship since the pandemic began at the start of the year. So actually last year pa. So as much as you can talk, it's not the same as physically being with someone. And there's been something called skin hunger that comes up during COVID-19 where people crave that connection. So this is according to Debbie Rivers, a relationship expert and dating coach. Kasi although you can connect virtually, iba pa rin daw yung nakikita mo talaga, yung partner mo. You can still be physically connected to that person. So iba pa rin yung physical connection. So that is why there are a lot of couples who struggle with a long distance relationship. So marami ng problema nag-a-arise kasi hindi nagkikita. So 'di ba nandun na yung question of trust. If baka meron ng iba to, ano kaya nangyayari dito? So maganong klaseng questions na overthinking nagsa-start na because we crave pa rin that connection, that physical connection, which is hard to do at this moment. So separation impacts mental health in many ways, but the big one is feelings of social isolation, and there's also anxiety for the health and well-being of your loved ones. Okay, kasi pwede din for you, as much as you want to see other people, see your friends or your loved ones, meron ka ding sariling anxiety about contracting the virus. So what if mahawa ako sa labas or makahawa ko ng iba? So mga ganun ng mga situation that causes you anxiety also, and more on the feelings of isolation, especially if you don't have that solid support system around you. Okay, so even though we use digital modes of communication to meet our social needs, the quality of this form relative to face-to-face contact is still different. Okay, so isa talaga yun sa mga struggle ngayon, yung mga long distance na relationships, not only for couples, but with friends also. Okay, so because of these challenges, on the other countries, divorce rates spikes up. Mga divorce rate spikes up. Many couples wanted to end their marriages. Siguro during the lockdown or the quarantine, they realized some incompatibility issues or may mga problema that they cannot handle anymore. So, marami talagang divorce rates. And then also with this dysfunctional family na even before the pandemic, na where abuse is already present, mas nangyayari ngayon yung mga kind of abuses in any relationships. So yun yung ilan sa mga negative effects din of the pandemic, and also the challenges that people go through because of our current situation. However, next slide please. There are still positive effects of the pandemic to relationships. So there are still people from different studies na they have responded that because of the pandemic, they create more meaningful connections. So mas nagiging intimate and meaningful yung mga connections ng bawat isa because people are making extra efforts to maintain their relationships. So since you have to stay at home, you have more time to bond with family, and do activities together, and also appreciating each other's roles and presence. So, nagkakaroon din ng resiliency sa relationship. So, kung paano kaya natin ma-work out ng relationship na to, na hindi tayo magbe-break. So, people was able to find different ways to make the relationship work. People do or find different ways to connect with their friends. Okay, and other family members. So this situation affords couples an opportunity to get to know one another through conversation without physical contact. And learning more about the other person can help intimacy grow and create a strong foundation for when they are reunited. So this is also a best time for couples to establish yung intimacy not physically, but more on the emotional bond. So kung kaya natin malagpasan tong distance na to na hindi tayo nakakita, how much more, di ba? If nagkita na tayo, if nagkasama na tayo, so we can overcome anything. So this is really a test of relationship. But out of this pandemic, di ba, nagkakaroon din ng maraming realizations and yung mga tao, and then they create more meaningful relationships with other people. Okay, now, next slide, please. So the question would be, how would you improve or strengthen the relationships that you have? So, paano kaya ma-maintain tong relationship ko ngayon? Paano ko may improve? May mga conflicts sa relationship, paano kaya ma-work out ito? So these are some guidelines that you can use or you can put in mind. Okay? So first one is, next slide. Okay, communicate. So communication. Effective communication is a way to advocate for oneself, be better understood by others, and help one get his or her thoughts and feelings across to others in a positive and safe manner. So it's also being respectful of others' needs with positive communication strengthens all relationships. Cliche it sounds, but communication is definitely the key to healthy and successful relationships because you have to, in order for you to navigate into this kind of situation, you have to maintain an open, honest, and genuine communication with the people around you. So you have to be open about your feelings and thoughts to others. So kung ano yung pinagdadaanan mo, you have to be upfront and truthful about it. Lalo na sa mga nakakasama mo sa bahay or people you deal with. And actually, it could be also helpful if in the family you agree in a time of a day when you can sit with all your family members or the people you live with and you can talk about anything. So, for example, things that you found most difficult or things that you are grateful for that day. Because in this way, di ba, na-establish no yung communication nyo. You are open to each other. So, you can schedule that kind of like pep talk with your members of your family or also with your friends, with your loved ones. So always communicate kasi para maiwasan yung, especially with a long distance, maiwasan yung mga trust issues, yung mga duda in the relationship. So make sure you reach out and continue to communicate with your partner. Because sometimes in the relationships, you all just need reassurance, diba, from your partners. And one thing to give that reassurance is to maintain an open line communication with them. Okay, so sharing feelings without fear of being criticized or told off can help us feel calmer and closer to each other. So it may help us remember that everyone is affected by the coronavirus situation and may be feeling more anxious and perhaps irritable than usual. So through communication also, we can also realize na hindi lang pala tayo yung ganito yung pinagdadaanan. Other people has also their own struggles. So with that, we can make the adjustments, or we can understand them better. Okay? The next is listen. So if you can communicate, you can express, you should also learn how to listen. Because you have to learn to what others are saying and trying to understand it and to focus on their needs in that moment. Be present with them. So whenever somebody wants to talk to you about siguro their problems, so be with them, be present with them, listen to them, ano yung mga sinasabi nila, parang be a comfort for them. Because in listening, it allows you to understand the point of view of another person and respond with empathy. So with that also, you can recognize kung ano din yung problema and you can make the necessary resolutions about it. So doon nagbi-build din yung respect, diba? And also, it feels great to have somebody to listen to you. Kasi sometimes you all need someone to listen to us and we find comfort with that. So you can also be that someone na maging confident or someone that other people can rely on. Okay? Then next is connect. So it's embracing new ways of reinforcing relationships. Because ngayon, na walang mga physical interactions, mas nadidisconnect tayo, di ba, sa ating friendships or relationships natin. We're prone to disconnect to our usual, ano yung usual na ginagawa natin. So, now is the time to be more creative in the ways how to reach out with others. So, use other resources like video chatting. You can call or message your family, your friends, or your loved ones because do not let this quarantine na maging hindrance para ma-strengthen yung bond nyo because you can still strengthen the bond in a different way. So, once in a while, di ba, mag-group chat kayo ng mga friends nyo, some catch-up sessions, or you can do activities together online kasi meron din naman ganung mga features na, di ba, yung mga apps that you can watch movies together, you can play games ba, you can anything. So you can do just to catch up with your friends or loved ones. So do it. Then it is also good if somehow you can plan things with your friends, for example, on what the things you're going to do once you're able, because talking about plans can get those positive emotions flowing and foster that sense of connection. So you're also encouraged looking through old photos and videos together to share in some nostalgia and happy memories so that you can, you can, what you can think of are the happy memories. So para mabawas-bawasan yung mga negativities kasi there are a lot of negativities around us already. So fortunately for us humans, there are other social activities that activate the brain's pleasure centers, even though with the social distance or just doing that online. So just laughing with people around us, doing activities together, it has all been found to release endorphins and play a role in the upkeep of our all important social bonds. Okay, so do not let it hinder you to connect to others. And also, if you want to broaden your social connections, you can also join online communities and connect with other people. So, for example, at the moment, your interest is on plants, so you can join like online groups, yung mga members, mga plant enthusiasts. So, join group that supports your hobby or your interest. So in that way, you can find new acquaintances, mas mag-broaden yung connections nyo, yung contacts nyo. And somehow you can find pa rin comfort with that, diba? Na may makakausap ka na kahit ibang tao. Okay? Then next one is setting boundaries. So this means that you need to have your own personal space. So maintaining healthy boundaries and be specific with your demands. Because during this time, we are prone to like do everything to the point that we become overstressed or burnout. Kasi for example, the online classes, syempre you have all the time at home. So usually maginagawa natin, we spend all of our time doing our projects or activities that we forget to do other things beside that. So kung sa mga employees pa, wala nang work-life balance kasi nag-overlap yung mga responsibilities mo, especially when you are at home. So may responsibility ka as an employee, may responsibility ka pa as a daughter or as a son, as a sister, as a brother. So nag-overlap yun. So you can do all things at once, diba? So you can do all things at once. So make sure that you have or you set that kind of boundary. So you can set your goals for a day. You can list the things that you need to do for a day and include yung mga specific target time na matapos mo siya so that you have something to look forward to and meron kang goal talaga. And after that, you can spend the rest of your time for yourself or for bonding with the people around you. So para ma-balance mo yung time mo. Okay? So you have to set that boundary. And you should also know kung ano yung kaya mong gawin at yung hindi mo na kayang gawin. You should be upfront with that, even with your partner, na ito lang yung kaya ko may bigay ngayon. So you have to put that boundary to your limitation, okay, in the relationship. So good boundaries are a sign of emotional health, self-respect, and strength. So we teach people how to treat us, and we set high standards for those you surround yourself with. Okay? So this would also allow people to understand na meron din tayong limitation, na we need some space for ourselves. Not because na lagi ako nandito sa bahay, you can ask me everything that you want. For example, sa parent-child relationship na porket nandito ako sa bahay, utusan mo lang ako whole day. Hindi naman pwede because there are online classes or there are other things that I needed to do. So you have to put that boundary even with your parents. Okay? The next is, next please. Okay, resolving conflicts. So conflicts can be extremely stressful, but it can also act to clear the air, surfacing issues that need discussion. So conflict in a relationship is common. So it can be very unpleasant, but it is common. So if there are conflicts, you have to try to find a resolution for it. So wag niyo nang hayaan na maging lumaki pa or lumala pa yung problema. Because some people think that by addressing a conflict, they are creating one. And simply keeping quiet when upset, and they just simply keep quiet when they are upset. But unfortunately, this isn't a healthy long-term strategy. So if you want to have a harmonious relationship, you have to resolve the conflicts or the issues that you have. May it be with your partner, with your friends, with your family. Okay? Because relationship usually breaks not because of a single problem, but it is like a combination or a pile up of different problems that were not resolved. And when it reach into the threshold, it will just explode and it creates a bigger damage. And that kind of damage is already harder to fix. So that's why many people or couple broke up, many marriages fail, many friendships are over, family members who don't talk to each other for such a long time. So mga ganan. So kung may mga problema, you have to find a solution on how to resolve your issues. And you can reach into the stage of compromise or negotiation in which you create a middle ground. And after that, you collaborate, or if mutual yung decision nyo and yung understanding nyo, you have to collaborate or work together to create a shared outcome. Because unresolved conflict can lead to resentment and additional unresolved conflict in the relationship. Okay? The next. Okay, reevaluate your relationships. If your goal in life is to be the best person that you can be and to help others be the best they can be, then you should continually reevaluate your relationships. So once in a while, take a step back and reassess the relationships that you have in your life. Is this kind of relationship still helps me grow? Is this kind of relationship makes me happy? Am I still satisfied? Is it still healthy for me? So ask questions like that for yourself and reevaluate if that relationship is still good for you. Because harmful relationships can make us unhappy, and recognizing this can help us to move forward and find solutions. So we can walk away from relationships that take away our peace and happiness. So for your friends, if you find them toxic, especially sa social media, 'di ba? Somehow sa Facebook, for example, matri-trigger ka sa mga post nila. So if you think that it will destroy your peace of mind, then you can unfollow them, you can block them. It's okay to unfollow certain people to protect your peace, to protect your mental health, because there are also toxic relationships. So you have to determine those toxic relationships, and you can make the decision if you move forward, if you let go of that relationship, or you will still try to fix that kind of relationship. Because acknowledging this kind of relationship will help you to make necessary adjustments in terms of your involvement and emotional investment. So this is also a time for re-establishing lost connections, not only with other people, but also with yourself. Okay, so it's only you who can decide about it. If there are things that you can improve or you should let go. So once in a while, reevaluate that relationships that you have, because protect your peace at all costs, protect your happiness, protect your mental health. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the most important. You have to take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is so important, so you're equipped to help your family or the people around you through this time, especially with the pandemic. So dapat if you want to take care of other people, you should also take care of yourself. If you want to give love to others, you should also have enough love for yourself. So this is really true. You can pour from an empty cup. Okay? So dapat i-feel mo talaga yung sarili mong cup. So self-care is essential. With everyone's schedule change, it's important to establish and maintain some kind of a routine. So that's according by Dr. Chris Kraft. So there are a lot of ways that you can take care of yourself, especially when you feel like you are not being yourself anymore. So kung somehow meron kang mga behavioral changes, siguro brought about cabin fever, for experiencing one. So these are some ways to take care for your health. So for physical health, next slide please. So fuel your body by eating healthy, well-balanced diet and drinking plenty of water. So you need to aim to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Exercise, because exercise, maraming studies na din that says that exercise can make you can give you positive mood. And of course, do meditation if you can to clear your mind, to have a sense of peace. Then avoid risky or destructive behaviors such as engaging into the abuse of alcohol or drugs. Then you can also spend time outside. So meaning you can go for a walk outside your house, to breathe fresh air, to see the sunlight. Okay, but of course you have to still follow social distancing guidelines. Okay, and then for your mental health, next slide please. So you have to set and maintain a daily routine of activities at home. So this is very effective also because you have something that you look forward to, you want to achieve for a day. And then focus on things you can control. Use technology to maintain social connections with your loved ones. So consider your regular check-in schedule to give you something to look forward to. Focus your thoughts on the present and things to be grateful for today. Consume reliable news sources that report facts and avoid media that sensationalizes emotions. So limit also exposure from news or social media because it can be really toxic also, the news or the posts that you can see in the social media. So if you think that you are overwhelmed by the posts and the things that you see, then you limit your exposure and acknowledge and appreciate what others are doing to help you and your community. Okay, and then next, okay. So it's also important if to get help. So kung sa tingin mo, na hindi mo na kaya yung mga stress na nararamdaman mo, or there are problems with the relationships that you need somebody to like guide you on how would you resolve it, then you can ask help professional help. So you can contact mental health professionals near you. So let's like normalize, diba? Normalize seeking professional help. Now let's stop the stigma na yung mga pumupunta lang sa mga mental health professionals or those diagnosed with psychological disorders. So pwede din naman even those people na walang diagnosis or normal functioning, but there are problems like with adjustments or with relationships, you can always seek professional help. Okay, so if you're a student, guidance office is always available to cater your needs. So you can just schedule, a session with them. So they will be happy to cater your needs. So, so use your resources. So it's okay to ask for professional help if sa tingin nyo, hindi nyo na din kaya. And you need somebody more trained to guide you and help you. So remember that these constraints will come to an end. But in the meantime, we are going to be physically closer to some and more distant from others. And in order to come through this, we all need to talk, listen, and care for each other and ourselves, building on what brings us together and what we want to see in the future. And also, remember that this too shall pass. So, meron ding hangganan ng lahat ng ito. Okay? So, to live you the challenge, so yung pina-assess ko sa inyo yung relationships yung kanina, diba? So, if you think your relationships are in conflict or may mga conflicts kayo, what can you do to fix or improve it? Okay? If your relationship naman are currently happy, stable, so what can you do to maintain or nurture it? So that would be, you know, a challenge for you how to work out the relationships that you have. Okay? So that's all. Thank you for listening, and I hope you get something from our discussion for today. Nakamute ka, Sir Ariel? I think you're on mute.
Again, sorry. Again, Ma'am Myrvic, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you so
insights and
much.
values about handling different type of relationship in times of
Yeah.
pandemic, in times of crisis. Kasi yun naman talaga, we really need this one. Kasi I know a lot of people out there are struggling on how to handle different relationship, like sa relationship na sa family, especially yung mga taong na lockdown na hindi nakauwi, di ba? Yung mga taong may significant others na, you know, parang the verge of giving up na parang mag-break. Di ba? Ang daming
struggle.
mga
Yes.
situation eh. And I know for sure Ma'am Abby can share a lot with this. Nasaan ba si Ma'am Abby?
Hi.
Ma'am Abby.
Hi! Grabe ka fruitful ang learnings that
Yes.
you have in all aspects or in all holistic talaga yung topic when we're talking about relationships. Diba? So everybody can actually relate on this. Labi na changes brought by this pandemic. Di ba, Ariel? Naka-experience ka rin ito, di ba?
Super, ang dami. And hearing this type of webinar really helps me, you know, to know the different strategies, kung paano pa ba i-maintain, how to nurture the relationship you have with different people, and it really helps a lot. So, yun. Ayan, hi ma'am! Our Guidance Center Head, Ma'am Lois.
Hi, ma'am!
Hello!
Okay, so another person can actually restate about
I've been here.
all about, di ba? Ang mga din ba, sabi. Di ba?
Parang,
so, moment of silence. So, I guess,
may mga questions tayo or mga sharings na nasa live.
We've been waiting for it since kanina. So, nag-post din tayo ng mga nila. So far, I think they have understand our topic this morning.
A lot of them actually stated that they are agreeing. Diba?
Yes.
Can actually agree, can actually relate. But I guess another thing that we have learned from this webinar is yung terminologies that we can use. Yung parang alam na nila na may ganitong sign sila, alam na nila na may ganito silang behavior, but they do not know yet what's the meaning for that.
Condition, yes.
After this, parang cabin fever na pala yung na-experience ko.
Correct.
Relationship problem na pala yung na-experience namin. So, it's really helpful. So, here, from Ma'am Susan Deles. Hi, Ma'am Susan Deles. Thanks for the nice presentation. It's very informative.
Thank you.
Ma, makita mo, ma.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nawala na naman po si Ma'am Loy.
Yeah, we should expect, diba, mga technicalities kasi nga, we are now working online, so may mga problems talaga like that.
Yeah.
So, again, everybody, we are actually encouraging you to ask more questions, clarifications
Yes,
about the
baka pwede yung masagot ng guest speaker natin today.
oh,
Baka
ready and
may mga
stronger
tanong
to
kayo.
answer questions. Hapon pwede siya prepare. Ready na yan siya.
Oo, especially sa may mga loved ones dyan. Ayan, you can share your thoughts on ano
Yeah,
yung
you're
pwede nyo
sharing.
ma-share
Ano yung
para sa
experiences
iba.
nyo?
Experiences nyo. Ma'am Abby, ano yung
Yes.
experiences mo?
Ariel, ano yung experience mo? Back to you. Oh my gosh, di ba? Siguro,
Back to
well,
you.
di ba?
Basta ako, I'm happy. All I know is I'm happy.
Which
I'm
is
good.
good, di ba?
Yes.
Maganda talaga na, nakikita naman talaga namin, Yel, na parang happy ka talaga. Di ba? Kitang-kita sa ano, kitang-kita sa pag-bloom. Okay? Kitang-kita sa pag-ngiti, nawawala. Yung mga smile na nawawala yung ano, mata. Kitang-kita.
Ma'am,
Meron na yan.
naiiyak na ako, tama na.
Pero how about while waiting for the our viewers to actually ask questions for Ma'am Myrvic, tayo, do we have some other additional questions that our guest speaker can actually answer?
Or
Naamoy mga
input. Or
Oh.
mga input ka din.
Ariel,
share.
question. Ano kung may tanong
Ano,
ka?
wala akong ma-question, but siguro to add na lang, no, parang ang dami kong nakuha talaga. But one thing siguro to maintain and to nurture or to maintain a strong relationship is also to know is ano specific to us sa mga may significant other is also to know the love language of your loved one. Parang
Yeah.
it's one form of strengthening your relationship. Kung alam mo kung anong gagawin mo sa
True.
partner mo, anong gagawin, ano bang dapat mong iwasan. So parang ganun din. And also you have to be prepared in terms of love. Kasi sabi nga ni Erich I've read this one all over the Facebook, and he said from a famous psychologist, si Erich Fromm, na the ability to love is the condition for the ability to be alone is the condition for the ability to love. O, di ba? Ang ganda ng
correct.
quote. So, parang sinasabing before you enter any kind of relationship, you have to know first kung ano ba yung love. What does really love means? Para you have to be prepared. You have to be parang may self-awareness. You are more conscious than you ever thought to be. So, ayan. Hi, Ma'am.
I think we have question already.
Hi, Ma'am Rose Escobedo. Actually, this is the mother of our program head, Ma'am Abby Escobedo.
Very supportive.
Thank you. Thanks for the informative presentation this time. Self-pity arises. How are you going to deal with it? Ayan, is this actually a question? In these times, self-pity arises. How are you going to deal with it? Ayan, Ma'am Myrvic.
Mama, mag-usap tayo.
Sige. Okay. Mga self-pity, no, ganon. Yes, that's very common right now. Siguro, you have to ask yourself, ano ba yung reason sa self-pity? Saan nanggagaling yung self-pity na yon? What do you think, the factors that contributes that, so that you would better understand kung paano mo ma-resolve yung condition, yung nararamdaman mo. Diba? Kasi kung kung ano saan galing yung self-pity na yon, you would better address the problem. So, yun. And then, you have to somehow reflect, di ba? You parang re-evaluate also, not only your relationships, but yourself. Di ba? You have to reassess. And then, if ikaw mismo, you cannot you need somebody, it's also good to ask other people kung ano yung mga pwede, some advices or some comforting words, and it's just really about yourself to really see your own worth. So it's not an easy process because self-discovery or accepting yourself is not yung parang process na ay parang in a snap of a finger yun na, di ba? It's really a process. So what you need to do is to start, okay? Act on it, and then yung tuloy-tuloy na yun. So, yun la. Yun for me. How about sa inyo?
Then another one from
For,
online marketplace. Yan, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Ma'am Myrvic. Ayan, always parang
Mm.
natawag yun, know kung bakit nagsa-self-pity ka. Parang ganon, di ba?
The reason, yeah.
Know the reason why you feel that way.
Oo, I agree. And it's also really good to remember that you're not alone. You can actually
Yeah.
talk to
yes.
people,
Mm-mm.
lalo na yung mga people around you na you think are talagang connected with you.
Nagke-care. Oo.
Mhm.
Nagke-care talaga sa'yo.
Oo, tama.
Tsaka it's
Mama,
ano din,
mamaya,
parang,
mama, mag-usap kami ng mama ko.
tsaka ano
Yes,
din, at
Ma'am
the same
Lloyd.
time, you have to, ano din also, you have to know kung saan yung limits mo sa self-pity.
Mm-mm.
You go out of
Mm-mm.
your house, like, kahit pandemic ngayon, pwede naman tayo pwede naman tayo sumunod sa
Mag-mall.
protocols. Hindi naman sa mag-mall. Like, you go to the church, di ba? You pray.
Yeah,
Pwede yun
ganon.
siya.
Mm-mm.
Kasi nga, di ba, prayer
Actually,
is parang, it can move
yeah, that's
mountains, di
true.
ba? Oh,
Mm-mm.
so, instead of
Mm-mm.
thinking something bad, then, kung wala kang mapuntahan, kahit kasi yung friends mo busy, and then open yung church, then you go inside and pray. Yan, di ba? Or, you go somewhere
Yeah.
like saan mag-unwind. Kung open ang mga parks, you go to the park. Or kung may bike kayo, you go biking. Ganun siya.
Yeah, any
Just to
activities
release,
that can make you feel good. Mm-mm.
yes,
May
that can release your tension inside para mawala yung
Yeah, that's true.
self-pity.
Mm-mm.
Or maglaro ng online games. Pwede yun siya,
Games.
pero minimal, at a minimal time. Diba? Hindi buong araw
Yes.
naglalaro ng online game. So, at least 30 minutes can ease the pain inside din siya. Kung wala yung mga friends kasi busy. Diba?
Mm. I
Ayan,
think we have another
Thank you
question.
so much, Ma'am Lloyd. Another question from online marketplace. Do you think the prolonged community quarantine helps to strengthen relationships? Yan.
Myrvic.
Napaisip bigla.
Yeah, kasi
Wala.
actually yung as what I have na-tackle ko din kanina, meron din talaga namang positive effects yon. Siguro it's also depend with the person, 'di ba? Because you can also create meaningful connections even though prolonged pa rin yung community quarantine. So you can still continue communicating, connecting with others, maybe to your family, your friends, your loved ones, para ma-maintain nyo yung relationship nyo. And this is your time talaga to, to increase your bonding moments because you have all the time now na makaspend ka with your family. So do activities together that would strengthen that relationship.
Correct.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Kasi parang dapat hindi lang tayo nagsistick na sa thought na nasa quarantine tayo, hindi tayo makalabas, hindi tayo maka-engage with other people. Parang let's take this opportunity to self-reflect, to have a anong tawag nito, to use the time we have to connect with others, with our families, di ba? Parang it helps us also to strengthen our relationship. So, ayun. So, Ma'am Abby, how about Ma'am Abby?
Pero honestly, makikita naman talaga natin merong positive at saka negative yung extension. Kasi, yun nga, kumalala yung increase for COVID fever, but it doesn't deny us the possibility that we can actually make us more closer to our family members, to the people that we love. So, siguro think positively lang. Think positively lang din talaga. So, what will later on in baka maka-develop din kayo ng other hobbies with connection with your diba, with your family. Yung mga ganun. And nawala po si Ariel Hernandez Jr.
And you have to ask yourself, diba, how do you value that relationship that you have? Because when you think of that, you will know this relationship is worth keeping. I would really fight for this relationship. May it be for friendships or romantic relationships. So if that relationship you have great value for that relationship, if you value that relationship, you will do anything to protect that and keep that.
Oo.
Diba?
Agree.
Correct.
So yung importance talaga siya.
Even family relationship, diba?
Yeah, family relationship. That's true.
Oo.
Like my experience now.
Kung gusto
So
mo
being
talaga,
here at home made me more closer to my baby. Kasi, di ba, I
That's
am
true,
nursing
yes.
her. So, without the pandemic, the baby will be para drinking milk from
Right.
from the other side, not from me. So
Yeah, that's
at this
correct.
moment, the pandemic made me a positive parang it made positive effect on me
Okay.
towards the relationship with my baby since it's growing, di ba? And then
Oo.
for students, syempre you will be able to have more time with your parents. You can have more time to talk to them. Ganun. You have more
Yes,
time
yeah.
to share your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions na hindi nyo na-share noon. Yan. Yan siya. So, yung parang, yung iba lang, nakikita lang nila is, parang,
Yung
ay,
negative.
negative
Diba?
side, but they are not thinking of the positive side kasi nga
Positive
naboboard na
side.
sila sa bahay. Yun. Yun
Oo.
kasi ang number one na reason nila. They are bored kasi
Boredom.
bawal lumabas. Yan. But you have to think the positive side of being at home or staying at home during the quarantine time. Then you will be able to understand the good relationship that you can have with your parents or your siblings or even your cousins and other extended family members. Ganun.
Yeah, that's correct.
Saan na si Ariel?
Taiwan. Wala,
ano daw,
wala nating host.
Oh, unsay buhaton para
chatting.
pilion.
Oy.
Ma'am
Mag-chat
Myrvic,
si Ariel.
unsay buhaton para pilion. There's
Just
one
be yourself.
question here.
Because that choice
Yes.
is not your control anymore. So you focus on what you can control and just yourself. So be yourself. So if that person cannot see that, cannot appreciate that, then it's not your problem anymore. It's a problem of the
Yes.
another person.
And then the other one is what kind of personality has a difficult to adjust during these pandemic times? Ano daw yung mga personality na mahirap mag-adjust ngayon sa pandemic? Meron
Yung
ba?
yung
I think yung mga
Ano
mga
yung
sanguine.
Ano yung type na
types
type
of personalities na medyo problematic during this pandemic.
Oo, yung nakukulong.
O yung hindi sanay talaga na magstay
Lumabas.
indoors.
Na may extrovert your personality,
Yung mga
diba? They're
extrovert,
very, like,
yung mga
outgoing. So medyo mahirap
outgoing,
sa
mga
kanila to.
sanguine, yun siguro sila.
Yeah.
Actually, I myself can consider, kina-consider ko talaga yung self ko na extroverted.
Extrovert.
So, at the start of the pandemic talaga yung we consider that new normal talaga na like 2 months or 3 months akong hindi lumabas ng bahay. Like, nakaka-overwhelm yung wala kang iniisip mo na dapat nandito ka, dapat like nasa mall ba ako or yung mga ganyan ideas. Pero eventually,
nag-travel ka.
yung nag-travel, yung naisip mo din yung mga canceled plans mo, yung mga canceled vlogs mo, that eventually it's too overwhelming, lalo na dun sa mga ganong types ng personality. But eventually, if you're a person who can actually try to assess the situation and prioritize your safety over your leisure, it can actually be helpful na, okay na, sige. Parang nare-realize mo the benefits of actually staying at home. Yung mga ganun. So, parang nalalessen. Pero, then again, I guess, because of these times na medyo well-adjusted na tayo for this new normal, parang naman din, nagiging more ang tawag yan, adjusted for this type of situation.
I agree po talaga, Nahin.
That's true.
I agree po
sabi ni Angel.
Ang sarili bago yung iba. Kasi pag kilala mo na sarili mo, alam mo kung ano yung gusto mo. Oy, bongga.
Yes, very
That's
good.
true, yeah.
You have to first love yourself before loving others. Yan. Kasi self-love yung pinaka-importante talaga before you share your love, 'di ba? Sabi nga ng speaker natin ni Ma'am Myrvic na you cannot pour an empty cup if you are empty.
Mismo.
So kung
fill your
empty
cup.
ka,
Oo,
Fill mo
dapat
na your cup before
overflowing
sharing
cup.
your cup.
That's
Yes.
true.
Parang din yan yung sa, 'di ba, sa flight or sa plane. Bago mo ilagay yung ang tawag niyan, yung parang
Yung mask.
help, yung mask sa iba, unahin mo muna yung sarili mo. Ganun. Kasi you cannot help others if you
Oo.
don't do yourself. Di ba,
Yeah,
Ariel?
that's true. And
Diba,
in
Ariel?
Yes,
couples
ma'am.
kasi if for example, if you enter into relationship and you're not that complete, parang you're not that full, parang hahanapin mo yan siya sa partner mo. And that could, parang magkakaroon yan ng tension between the two of you. Kasi you're expecting something from them na hindi mo nakikita sa sarili mo. So you
Yes.
have
Oh my
to
God,
like
yes.
flow it, 'di ba? Dapat kompleto ka talaga. You feel good about yourself. You know, para
Oo.
maging talaga yung harmonious yung relationship mo with your partner.
Okay, you
Tsaka
do
in
not
loving, you have to remain, I think you have to, kumbaga, mag-iwan ka ng mga at least
Yeah.
10 to 15% to yourself. So, if you have to love others, at least you have 10 to 15% for yourself. Parang ganun siya.
pwede na more. Pero wag siguro
Ay,
more
mga 50. Half-half na lang. 50.
Wag more than 50 kasi parang ano ka na
Oo,
yan.
parang, na
I
ka,
love
parang-
myself more
more
than
myself.
you.
Yeah.
Iba din yun.
Balance lang
Iba din
talaga.
yun. Balance lang. Yan.
Oo. Have your
Diba,
own
Ariel?
independence pa rin. Even you're in a relationship.
I agree, Ma'am Myrvic.
Mm-mm.
Pero yung
Ang
ano
dami-
din. Yes,
Ang dami
Ariel?
ko lang ang dami ko nang pwedeng i-apply.
Ang dami ng pwedeng i-apply, pero yung iba na-apply mo na, di ba? Kaya nga blooming ka ngayon eh.
May
For
ganon, may
experience pa
ganon.
rin, di ba, Ariel is the best teacher. Diba? Your experience will be your best teacher so that you can also share with,
Oo,
you can
there's a
share that
comment-
one with others. Yan.
There's a comment in Facebook from Moriel Lintagi at Lito. Sabi niya, I agree, ma'am. Also from Mary Apple Tabanaw, sabi niya, agree. Yes.
Agree.
Agree ng
Agree.
Pero yung iba dyan sa ating mga viewers, do you want to share your experiences during the pandemic? It's really good today para ma-address din natin or how can we assist with the statements from our speaker. From
Ma'am Jo.
Ma'am Jo.
Ma'am Jo.
Yeah. Ma'am Jo. Watching
Hi,
from
Ma'am Jo.
Hi, Ma'am Jo.
Hi, Ma'am Jo.
We miss you, Ma'am Jo. Okay. Wish you were
Baka
here.
mas viewers natin may mga heartbreak na dyan na pwede nilang i-share na pwede natin mabigyan ng
Baka
tulong.
pwede natin ng solusyon.
Wait for a while.
Or ng comfort.
Speaking of relationships, ano yung masasabi niyo dun sa mga tinatawag natin ngayong lockdown relationships? Yung mga relationship na nagsimula ng dahil na lockdown. Anong masasabi niyo sa mga ganyan? Any inputs for that? Waiting, di ba? We can actually share this also.
Can I just cover my face?
Oh my gosh.
Bakit? Guilty?
We can actually share, di ba, kung ano yung mga pros and cons nito and how it will be more, how can it actually be strengthened. So, any inputs for that? Yung LDR, yung bagong meaning ng LDR.
Lockdown relationship. Yung relationship na nag-start because of lockdown, yun ba yun, ma'am?
Actually, pwede siya dalawang meaning. Yung first meaning is yung sinabi ni Ma'am Myrvic. Yung pangalawang meaning ng lockdown is yung relationship na na-lockdown sila together. Like,
Okay.
Like sa isang
Alright.
Pero, diba, it's up
Well,
to you.
actually, no, it's very, having this kind of relationship, parang, it gives us hope. Parang
Kilig si Sir
hopeful
Ariel.
ka, diba? Parang you're hopeful kasi kahit pala lockdown, you can find somebody pala. You can go into a relationship. So, it's like giving hope also for others na merong relationship para na makikita mo pa rin even we are under pandemic.
Oo, di ba? Hindi naman talaga natin masasabi na yung relationship na yan is char-char lang dahil na-develop during the
Oo. Mm-mm.
Pero talagang relationship na
Mm-mm.
because of that instances, nagkaroon talaga ako ng partner or
Nagkaroon. Oo.
nagkaroon talaga ako ng
Oo.
true and committed
Mm-mm.
relationship.
True partner. Oo.
Parang ang nangyayari ngayon sa webinar natin is naha-hot seat si MC. Ang dami nag-comment.
Oo nga.
Ay, actually, si Ma'am Claire is watching with us. Hi, Ma'am Claire.
Hi, Ma'am
Oh,
Claire.
Fred, I miss you, Ma'am Claire. I miss you so much. From the SSG President. Thank you,
Thank
Jose
you,
Maria.
Sir.
Diba si
Thank
SSG
you,
President
SSG President.
happy and committed sa kanyang relationship. From Hapa pa rin, iba talaga si Ma'am Lo. Bongga.
Ay, naku.
Grabe talaga, supportive talaga yung mother
Oh,
ko,
grabe
no?
si Mom.
Yan talaga, maganda talaga sa isang family, meron talagang supportive one. Okay, share ko lang. In times like this, smart move is not for us to remain the victims, but instead victorious. Yes, very positive dapat yung
Yes.
output natin.
Yeah.
We see the bad, but we should actually acknowledge more what is becoming kumbaga rewarding even in this time of pandemic.
Yes.
Tsaka may I add lang po, kasi we also have, parang in the other way around din sa quarantine, we also have some relationships na na-broke. So we have, or broken yan. So we also have to deal with it. So kung may ano tayo na ganitong problema, it is always parang a suggestion for us to open it up to people na trusted natin, 'di ba? Kasi importante talaga is to build good relationships with our loved ones, with our friends. Yan siya. Kasi mahirap naman na we grow up with grudges inside us and then eventually it becomes our shadow. And we can bring this up to our future family, yan, future children, future partners, ganun siya. So, it's very good na you opened it up to people na trusted nyo. Okay. For students, if hindi nyo siya kayang i-share sa mga classmates nyo, sa mga friends nyo, or sa teachers niyo, you can always have your facilitators or counselors. Yan, you can talk to them, you can chat with them, you can call them, you can text them, ganun siya, to share what is inside you. Para hindi naman tayo sasabog, di ba? Mahirap naman na i-keep natin siya sa loob natin, tapos biglang sasabog tayo. Magtataka yung mga taong kasama natin. Di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Highly encouraged talaga.
Talk about it.
Kasi
huwag maghiyang mag-share.
Yes.
Yung iba, wag hiyang magtanong, wag maghiyang mag-share. Kasi mental health matters.
Gusto kong kumanta ng wag maghihiya. Pero talagang, I agree na we really should acknowledge the importance of those mental health practitioners. Kailangan talaga nating ma-erase. Sabi din talaga ni Ma'am Myrvic na we really need to remove the stereotype regarding asking for professional help. Kasi lahat naman
let's normalize it, diba?
Yes, we need to normalize. Kasi madalas, di ba, there are some instances when we have certain problems in our life. It's really more better to actually share it to someone we really do not know because there's lesser judgment or lesser issues. Kumbaga ganun. Okay? From Ma'am Jessa. Nakikita ko si Ariel, binabasa niya eh.
Good job.
Nahihirapan si Ariel. Kay Ma'am Jessa, yan, another psychologist. Okay? Good job. Very informative.
Hi. Hi, Ma'am
Jessa.
Shout out.
Diba? Social interest, Ariel. Diretso mo na.
Yeah. Sasabihin ko na sana eh, kaso sinabi mo na. Sasabihin ko na sana yung sinabi mo na.
Ay, nako. I miss you all.
Ayan. So may mga follow-up, ano pa ba tayo dyan?
Questions.
Pwedeng i-share. Questions.
We have there from Hapa kanina. Then I guess di natin nabasa. Thank you for the effort for giving us this wonderful episode. Wow, thank you, Hapa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Haris.
Tama ba ako? Parang nag-live din kanina si SSG. SSG on air.
Kagabi. Parang kagabi sila nag-live. Yes, nag-live sila
Those
kagabi.
din talaga sa SSG ngayon. They're really trying their best to actually approach and move closer to the students.
To the
whosoever.
students.
Grabe talaga
Kasi
yung
it's
effort.
very important, 'di ba, na to share our insights, our inputs para at least matulungan natin yung mga nahihirapan sa kanilang feelings.
Yeah.
Yan. Kasi ito
We're all
yung
in this
silang hindi
together.
nagsi-share, 'di ba? Mahirap naman na hindi natin basahin yung mga nila, mga gusto nila. So at least in some ways we were able to help them. And then maka-share din sila sa kanilang mga insights or
Ma'am Loy,
yan.
later na lang. We have another one. Ariel, can you read it?
Ayan, from Godon Tale. Yan, mahirap kimkimin ng lahat ng mga dinaramdam. Kaya ginagawa ko ay pray na lang sa Diyos to give me strength to move forward even though it's hurtful.
Yes.
Yes. Find comfort with,
With praying.
Oo.
through
Comforting
praying.
talaga when we talk
Yeah,
to
very
the
comforting.
And it's really good to say that we also need to strengthen our spiritual aspects during
Yes.
this time of pandemic.
Yes, exactly.
Correct.
Regarding our topic, Loy, speaking of
Yes.
connecting with the mental health practitioners, maybe we can actually use this time to explain ano yung process talaga for guidance to actually assess students, or if they have some concerns for the guidance, how can they approach you or how can they connect with you during this online classes?
Okay, so for students, you can always log on to the appointment form of guidance, and that is already in our site, JMC portal. So punta kayo sa help desk and then find the guidance services and click on the appointment form. So you can always log in there and have your appointments with us. Or you can also search yung search tab ng Facebook, hanapin niyo doon si JMC Guidance. Tapos you can always chat us there, or you can email us at guidance@jmc.edu.ph. So there are 3 ways you can contact us. So nandun din sa Facebook namin yung mga contact information for guidance services. Ganun siya.
Ang schedule po ba nito, ma'am, is 24/7?
Parang ganun na siya. Hindi na siya 8 to 5.
Yes. Kasi nag-cater na kami kahit may nare-receive kami gabi.
Yes, at 9 o'clock
As long
in the
as may
evening.
ma-receive,
Sige.
cater agad.
Pagising pa ang mga guidance personnel, reply. Ganun siya.
Ganun ka-committed. So,
Ganun siya ka-committed. Kahit Sunday may conference, okay lang. Ganun.
kasi hindi
As
naman
long
talaga
as makatulong.
problem. We cannot schedule when magkakaroon ng problema. So, maganda yung
Oo.
24/7. Kudos talaga sa mga counselors for
As
guidance.
very
Grabe.
commendable talaga ating mga guidance office.
Ganun na ngayon kasi
Loy, of
online na
course.
tayo. Syempre with the rest of the guidance team, yun naman talaga ang goal natin is to help our students understand what is inside them. Kasi ang hirap, 'di ba, pag walang nakikinig or walang tutulong sa atin. So sino, 'di ba? So kaya naging 24/7 yung namin ngayon. So as long as we're in this together, ganun siya, and then as long as we're awake, we can answer all the queries. Ganun siya.
Yeah, so mga lahat ng mga nanonood dyan, please don't hesitate to reach us out. Available kami anytime as long as di pa kami natutulog. Yun lang. Pag hindi
kumakain, ganun. O kahit na kumakain, nagre-reply pa.
Mag-reply when available.
Oh, yun na siya. We will reply when we are available. Ganun siya. So, parang always available ata ito si Ariel. Except po matulog.
Mami, ano na lang din ako nun, Mami, advertise ka na. I mean, hindi man siya advertise, but sooner or later, the Alumni Association will also have on-air, parang kapihan on-air soon. It's not also a
Wow, that's
platform
good.
that will talk about life, talk about anything, everything. So parang isang platform na din for the JMC, especially sa mga J Marias natin and people out there, to reach them out, to have some, little chit-chat through online. So yun. Sooner, we'll be launching our Kapihan on Air.
Wow.
Maganda yan.
Wow, good luck.
Maganda yan. So, mag-share ka ng kape sa amin.
Wonderful. Have your phone.
So yun. May mga may share pa ba tayo? Ayan, how about
From
the comment section?
Myrvic, I guess from Myrvic
Yeah.
siguro, regarding her ano to, nakalimutan ko tuloy na ako na-distract ako ng kapihan
Sa kape.
Gusto ko tuloy uminom ng kape. Any additional inputs, Ma'am Myrvic, regarding our topic for this morning? Any additional inputs?
Ano lang talaga, you have to, during this time, you have to like help one another. So it's not only about ourselves, but we have to understand also that other people are also struggling. So we have to keep an open mind, understanding heart, diba? Just be kind because
Yes.
everyone you meet has their own battles that they fight. So it's not just all about us. So in order to you to have harmonious relationships with others, you also need to understand their situation and where they're coming from. Bakit din sila nagkakaroon ng mga behavioral changes, mga ganun, or something like that. So it just really have to be understanding and open mind and also communicate. So kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, you learn to express it and also that other people could also understand you and vice versa.
Yes.
For me.
Maganda yun. Maganda talaga ang ideas. Yun talaga. We need to remember it. Okay. So I guess time check is 11:32 in the morning.
Ayan, so sa lahat ng viewers natin, thank you. And thank you so much, Ma'am Myrvic, from the Office
Thank
of the
you.
Guidance Center Head and the Station of Psychology Students. We want to express our gratitude and appreciation in the form of certificate. Ayan.
Oh.
And please allow me to read the citation. The Jose Maria College, Philippine-Japan Friendship Highway, Sasa, Davao City. Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Myrvic Keyoko E. Padilla for sharing her valuable knowledge and insights as guest speaker in the webinar entitled Fostering Relationship Amidst the Pandemic, given this 26th day of February 2021 at Jose Maria College, Philippine-Japan Friendship Highway, Sasa, Davao City, Philippines. Signed by Ms. Abigail Grace Escobedo, the Program Head of Biopsychology, and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Rosafina D. Ortega. Once again, thank you so much, Ma'am Myrvic, for sharing your insights
so
and knowledge.
Yes.
Indeed, that your knowledge is a great of value. Thank you so much, Ma'am, for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And can I say hi lang? Can I say hi? I just want to say hi lang to everyone who's watching with my friends and to my friends say hello.
Congrats!
Yeah.
Wala na si Ariel. Wala na.
Yes, because it's our Mansuri today, so gusto ko lang siya i-greet. Kasi it's watching.
Happy Mansuri sa inyo,
Yeah,
Ma'am.
hello.
Wala si Ariel.
Yeah, diba? So dapat ka lang happy always.
In a relationship. Nasa utak ni Ariel, naghalo no, Mansuri, engaged, tapos in a relationship. Sana,
Happy din naman yan si Ariel.
Yes.
Happy din yan si Ariel.
Happy din si Ma'am Lo.
Always remember to be
Happy din Ma'am Loy. Happy din lahat. Yan talaga yung ng topic natin, di ba? You have to be happy with the relationships that you have.
Yes.
Yan talaga.
You should always choose to be happy.
Thank you.
relationship that we
Yeah,
have.
in any relationships
thank
that you
you.
have.
Always remember talaga na to strengthen every relationship that we have.
Relationship.
Alright? So I hope everybody,
Okay.
thank you once again for
So,
our
we're
viewers.
still looking forward, Ma'am Myrvic, to have you on our next sooner
Yeah.
webinar.
Yes.
Yan, kasi may mga
Yes,
plano pa
sure.
tayo.
Sa kapihan.
Maraming
Kuya.
plano.
Sure.
Kapihan daw, kapihan on air.
Sa kapihan, pwede ako sumali sa kapihan.
Of course!
May free coffee.
Notify
May
ka
free
na lang
coffee.
daw. Mag-notify ka daw in advance kung hot or cold.
Ah, or frap, naka-frap ba siya?
Para delivered
Ayan, so,
delivered on your at your doorstep, 'di ba? Oh.
yes.
Yan.
May pa ganon.
Sponsored by David's Coffee Shop. Da bongga.
Uy, actually, may
Iba.
magkakapihan din kami. Aside from
Oh.
David's Coffee Shop.
Aba,
Sooner,
Wow.
sooner we'll be launching
Dapat
that.
mag-invite talaga sila.
So mag-invite na sila
Soon.
ngayon.
Invite
yung
ko
webinar
sila.
na naging yung webinar na naging advertisement Iba
Ayan, so again, thank you so much, our Guidance Center Head, Ma'am Loy Estrada, and our program head of DS Ecology, Ma'am Abby Scubido, and also our guest speaker, Ma'am Myrvic Padilla. Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time, for
thank
giving
you.
your precious time, extending your knowledge and expertise in the field of relationship, in psychology, in helping others. Thank you so much. So we're still looking forward to see you in our next episode of JMC EduTrends.
Sure.
EduTrends. So this is Ariel Desades, your host, and saying stay safe and please take care of yourself. Bye
Yeah.
everyone. See you in our next episode on JMC EduTrends.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
watching.
thank you.
That
Bye.
ends another substantive discussion on JMC EduTrends, produced by the Jose Maria College Communication Affairs Office. On behalf of our founding president, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy, thank you for being with us. Join us again next time for another interesting, inspiring, and transcending discussion on JMC EduTrends. Bye everyone, and keep safe.
Congrats.